This is the EGOHOME 12-inch copper gel memory foam mattress, and it has been the rare foam bed that kept me comfortably cool through a humid night, while still giving my shoulders and hips real pressure relief. I woke up without that stiff lower back feeling I usually get from softer beds. I would put this mattress in the bed in a box memory foam category, built for people who want contouring pressure relief and strong motion isolation without the swampy heat that many foams are known for. If you sleep hot, if you share a bed and hate feeling every turn from the other side, or if you need something that arrives compact and is easy to bring upstairs, this is made for that set of needs. I am a side and back sleeper, around average build, and I have been using it nightly for a little over 3 weeks. Design-wise, the 12-inch profile matters more than it sounds. That extra height gives the mattress a more substantial feel and better support transitions, meaning you do not bottom out when you roll toward the edge. The cover has a soft knit feel with a light cool touch on first contact. It is not icy or gimmicky, but it does not feel like a fuzzy sweater either, which I appreciate because some knit covers grab at sheets. Corners are neatly finished and the stitching is clean. There are no scratchy seams rubbing through a thin sheet. The whole thing has a modest, understated look that disappears under bedding, which is exactly what I want from a mattress. Unboxing was what you would expect from a modern compressed mattress. It arrived rolled and vacuum sealed. The queen-size box is not tiny, and I would call it a one-person job with a dolly or 2 people without one. I slid it onto the platform frame, cut the outer plastic carefully with the included tool, and let it unfold. The initial expansion is pretty quick. It puffed up to usable shape within minutes. I gave it a full day to reach proper height and firmness. There was a faint new foam scent for the first afternoon. I cracked a window, and it mostly cleared by the evening, and it was gone after the first night. The fabric itself looked relaxed and flat by the next morning with no weird waves. Responsiveness is that classic slow memory foam hug on top with a slightly firmer pushback underneath. When I press down with my hand, the top layer slowly reforms around it, but it does not cling forever. Changing positions takes a touch more effort than a bouncy spring bed, though I never felt stuck. On my personal firmness scale, which is based on how deep my shoulder sinks when I lie on my side, I would call it a true medium firm. Enough give for pressure points, enough support to keep the spine lined up. I could feel my lower back supported when I rolled to my back, and that is the make it or break it moment for me. The copper gel infusion is not a marketing line here. On contact, the surface feels a little cooler than my cotton sheet. More importantly, over several nights, I did not get that heat pocket that often builds up under my torso on foam beds. I tested it during a string of warm nights with the ceiling fan on low and a lightweight quilt. I never woke up to flip the pillow or kick off the covers. It is not an air conditioner, but it avoids the trapped heat feeling, especially around the shoulders and hips where I usually notice it first. Motion isolation is excellent. I set my phone on the bed and dropped a small book a few inches away. The phone barely wobbled. In use, when I shifted from side to side, the other half of the bed stayed quiet. I am a light sleeper, and I did not wake up from movement coming from the other side when my partner got up early. Noise is non-existent. No creaks, no springs, just silence. Edge support is better than I expected for an all-foam build, thanks to that taller profile. Sitting on the edge to tie shoes is fine, though it is still softer than a mattress with reinforced sides. Lying close to the edge felt stable and not like I was sliding off. If you like to sleep spread out right to the border of the bed, you will be fine here, but if you need rock-solid edges for sitting long stretches, a hybrid with a perimeter support ring will still be stronger. I tried it on a slatted platform frame with center support, and also on the floor for an afternoon just to feel the difference. On the floor it felt a hair firmer, which is normal because there is no flex underneath. On the platform it had the intended balance. I also tested it on an adjustable base for 2 nights, and it bent smoothly without any crunchy sounds or pinching at the knees. The foam layers flexed evenly, and the mattress returned flat when I lowered the base. For a real-world test, I spent a full week sleeping on my side with a single medium loft pillow. No shoulder tingling, which I get with beds that are too firm on top. I also did 2 back sleeping nights after a long run when my lower back usually complains. The lumbar area stayed supported with a gentle curve, not a gap. I woke up fewer times than usual, and I did not have that ache that makes you stretch before stepping out of bed. During a Saturday afternoon nap with direct sunlight hitting the sheets, I got warm on my face, but my back stayed comfortable, which is a good sign that the top layer is not storing too much heat. Sheets slipped on without bunching. The cover fabric has just enough stretch that the fitted sheet stays put. I did a little spot cleaning after a small coffee spill. A damp cloth and a few dabs took care of it, and the fabric did not pill or fuzz up. I would still recommend using a breathable mattress protector, especially if you tend to snack in bed or have pets, but the surface itself handled a basic wipe down well. One thing I noticed on day 1 and day 2 is a slight softening compared to the minute it came out of the plastic. It settled into its true feel after the first night, which is totally normal for memory foam as it decompresses fully and warms up to room temperature. By the end of the first week, it was consistent each night. I weighed down the middle with a stack of folded blankets for an hour as a quick compression test. When I removed them, the surface recovered evenly without dents. A specific use case that really shows what this mattress does well is bedtime reading for 20 or 30 minutes on my side. On some beds, my arm goes numb because the top is too firm. Here, my shoulder sinks just enough that my neck stays neutral with a single pillow. I do not have to double up pillows or hold my head at an angle. Then when I roll to my back and put the book away, the center feels supported, not spongy. If you alternate between side sleeping and back sleeping, that transition is smooth and does not wake you up. A smart touch that improves the experience is the way the top layer cools on first contact, but does not feel wet or gel-like. Some so-called cooling foams feel clammy. This one feels dry and breathable. The foam also dampens vibrations from outside the bed. I live on a street where trucks rumble by, and I noticed fewer little shakes transferring up through the frame compared to my older coil mattress. It is small, but I appreciate that comfort envelope. It is not perfect. If you love a springy, buoyant feel that lets you bounce from one spot to another, this is not that. Memory foam has a more deliberate response. I got used to it in a day, but stomach sleepers who want a very firm plank might prefer something a notch firmer or a hybrid with coils. Edge sitting is okay, but not amazing if you spend a lot of time perched on the side. The weight is also worth noting. Rotating it takes real effort for one person. Plan ahead, clear the space, and grab a second set of hands if you can. After living with it, here is where I land. The EGOHOME 12-inch copper gel memory foam mattress delivers what matters for everyday sleep. It stays comfortable in warm conditions. It cushions pressure points without letting your hips sink too far. It keeps nighttime movement quiet on both sides. Setup is straightforward. Off-gassing is mild and short-lived. It plays nicely with a platform frame and an adjustable base. If you sleep hot on foam, if you are a side sleeper who needs shoulder relief, if you share a bed and do not want to feel every turn, this is an easy one to recommend. If you want that classic spring bounce or you need ironclad edge sitting support, you may be happier with a firmer hybrid. But for a memory foam option, this one hits a very comfortable middle ground. If you want more hands-on tests like long-term durability check-ins or topper pairings for fine-tuning firmness, let me know in the comments, and I can follow up in a future video. If this video helped you, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your questions or your own experience. Thank you for watching.